Greetings and welcome to this edition of the Kokayi Academy for the Healing Arts. I'm your host, Dr. Kamau Kokayi, and today I'm going to take you down a rabbit hole that hopefully is not too unfamiliar. Well, let me go back. Back in 1979, 1980, I was writing my thesis to get out of Yale Medical School, and I chose the topic of acupuncture and physics. And you know, we're so used to thinking of the body biochemically, but within the context of the work I was doing then, I realized that if we had a microscope capable of infinite magnification, ultimately we would see that what we're calling material or matter really boils down to different photons and atoms, which are largely empty space. So at that point, I realized that it was possible to move from the world of biochemistry to the world of biophysics. Now, unfortunately, most doctors are stuck in the world of biochemistry in terms of understanding the body and health and disease. But if you practice other healing arts, it's it's important to be aware of the metaphysical or the energetic anatomy that people have. I thought this might help. This is just it's a commonly used doll that depicts acupuncture meridians and points. Back in the 1950s, Yoshio Nakatani in Japan and a Reinhold Voll in Germany demonstrated that points of least resistance on the body's surface actually correspond in large measure to acupuncture points. Also, in various other traditions, in terms of this energetic anatomy, we also have chakras, which have been demonstrated through Kirlian photography. Some systems use 7 chakras, some systems use 11 major chakras with other mini chakras, but the idea is that you have these energetic vortexes that are around and go through the body. Now, this makes up the energetic anatomy of all of us. And it doesn't make any sense at this point to limit ourselves just to biochemical realities when we're living in an age of instant communication and electronics and all kinds of other ways. There's a digital world to actually understand and interpret what's going on with the body. More than that, if we start talking about the energetic reality of the body, it functions by a totally different set of rules. Now, some of the disciplines that I've used to actually diagnose and interface with this energetic body include Chinese medicine. For instance, checking the pulses right at the radial artery. Each point along that artery you can look at as different notes or frets on a guitar string. And there's a different type of vibration at each point that represents what's going on in the body. You can use applied kinesiology, which I've mentioned, which is a way to actually check the energetic field at different nodal points on the body, such that if you touch an area that is weak, it'll literally short circuit the body in a way that when you're testing a strong muscle, it'll be weak. Now, for about 18 years, I was actually the medical director of a substance abuse clinic, or several substance abuse clinics, that actually use acupuncture as a major way to detox the body. And basically, we primarily use points on the ear. There were 5 major points on the ear. This was part of what was called the NADA detox protocol. And literally hundreds, thousands of people that were addicted to substances received benefit. Now, within the energetic framework that I'm talking about, there's a holographic reality to the body. Whether we're talking about the fact that the whole body is represented on the ear, whether we look at the whole body as being represented on the soles or hands of the feet, there's something called Korean hand acupuncture. But this is a different way to actually look at the body and think about it. Why the ear to actually treat an addictive disease? Well, within a Chinese medical framework, notice that the ear is shaped like the kidney. The kidney in Chinese medicine represents the root or core energy that's directly tied into neurologic functioning. There have been countless studies to show how many of these points are actually affect nervous energy. And indeed, in actual practice, these points can actually help people with all kinds of different substance issues, from alcohol to crack cocaine. Now, in clinical practice, not only do we talk about acupuncture as a way to actually affect energy fields, and by acupuncture, if you think about it, we're actually putting metal pins into these points that are actually active. So when I'm using the energetic anatomy of a person that is based on meridian theory, more often than not, I'm going to use acupuncture pins on different points to create a different reality. And that has its own set of laws and functionings in terms of how to balance the body. If I'm going to use a chakra system that looks at these energy vortexes around the body, I'm going to use colors, and I'm going to use gemstones. Okay? And with any of these systems, you can also use your energy directly, whether you call it Qigong, Reiki, Pranic Healing. We, as in using ourselves as healers, can actually interface with this energy directly. And some people are very, very good at this. Now, I'm going to share with you, in addition to the literally thousands of cases that I've been involved with in treating in terms of substance abuse. So when a patient comes to me, I had a patient who had chronic migraine headaches. So in reviewing her energetic anatomy, she had actually had acupuncture and it just hadn't helped her. But when I checked her chakra system, I found that her base chakra, a base chakra really helps to keep you grounded. I find a lot of people that have anxiety issues, or they have from attention deficit, or issues that involve the head, the base chakra is really weak. Her base chakra was weak. What I did is I gave her a gemstone, that a hematite gemstone that she actually wore as a bracelet. And this is going on for months now. What she's found is that in wearing that, she no longer gets migraine headaches. And she's put it to the test. If she takes it off for a few days, she is more likely to get migraine headaches. She puts it back on, she doesn't get that. In other words, her bioenergetic field has an imbalance that's corrected by the effect that a gemstone or crystal can actually create. I don't know if people realize that at the heart of our whole IT and computer technology are actually crystals, right? And crystals emit distinct vibrations that affect different chakras, that affect different part of our being. And this is information that's available if people are willing to accept the fact that we do have an energetic reality. On another level, I've worked with homeopathy for a few decades. And homeopathy also takes the energetic vibration of a plant, mineral substance, any number of things, and will give that to the body to create an effect. So, and I've had countless cases, but in just preparing this, I thought about a case of sarcoidosis. Sarcoidosis is a disease that affects largely people of color, but a person is likely to get granulomas, or just thickened tissue, right, that obstructs the lungs and any number of places of the body. But this patient's clinical picture suggested that they needed the element phosphorus in a homeopathic form. This person had an abnormal x-ray, and in treating a person with phosphorus, the x-ray totally cleared. Unfortunately, she didn't share this with her practitioner, who thought that she was taking steroids. But when she stopped taking the homeopathic phosphorus, the condition slowly came back. She restarted it, continued the phosphorus, and the sarcoidosis no longer became an issue for her. Sarcoidosis, perhaps people know, Bernie Mac, the comedian, died of this. People end up getting lung transplants and needing all kind of medication. But a vibrational therapy actually helped to clear this up. I've had one patient where she had a chronic cough for 10, 20 years, and I just used energetic therapy without actually touching her, right, to identify where there was an imbalance using a type of pranic healing and qi kung, and after 2 treatments, her cough actually cleared up. Now, you can say, hey, Dr. Kokayi is just talking here, but I'm sharing information that outside of the context of biochemical practitioners, bioenergetic practitioners, whether they're working with gemstones, whether they're working with homeopathy, whether they're working with acupuncture, have all experienced these kind of results and cases. There's a place for everything, but I want folks to realize that the bioenergetic piece cannot be ignored. Why? Because these meridians are as real as the organs in your body. The chakras are as real as your nervous system. And all of these work together, all of these help to create what we call mind, what we call our emotional body, and it cannot be ignored. So think about this when you're considering what's going on with your body and people that are close to you. And I look forward with getting into this in a little deeper subject matter as we move forward. Thank you for joining me today.